Jey Morales. Unbound. Revelation in the house. Turn it up now. Slide in, sit back, got your mind on spin. Jey talks smooth, revelation jump in. From headlines to the stories you heard, we break it down raw, word after word. You got questions, we got time. Little bit of truth with a sideways smile. Turn that dial, lock in and stay. We're taking that talk all the way. Jey Morales Unbound. From the deep dark doubts to the laughs out loud. Jey Morales Unbound. Where the wild thoughts all get found. You can't stop that sound when the truth comes around.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Popcorn popping, newsfeed hot. Revelation drop a line, make the whole room stop. Side-eye theories, rumors in the air. Jey peeling back slow, lay the truth out there. Little bit of wisdom, little bit of clown. We can lift you up, we can break it all down. Turn that chair to your favorite place. Let the talk run long, let it chase that chase. Jey Morales Unbound, gonna shake your mind around. From the deep dark doubts to the laughs out loud. Jey Morales Unbound, where the wild thoughts all get found. You can't stop that sound when the truth comes around. Come on. From the couch to the car, you feel that spark. Yeah, that's us. From your doubts to your dreams, we in between, kicking up dust. Hey! Jey Morales Unbound, gonna shake your mind around. From the deep dark doubts
Oh,
to the
yeah!
loud. Jey Morales Unbound, where the wild thoughts all get found. You can't stop that sound when the truth comes around. You can't stop that sound when the truth comes around. Jey Morales Unbound.
Oh yeah!
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, if you haven't watched this show yet and you don't tell me that the beginning of this show's song is awesome, I don't know what to tell you. Welcome back, everybody, to Unbound, Episode 12, Season 2, the show where we dig beneath the headlines, unpack the chaos, and tackle the stories everyone else is too nervous to cover. I'm Jey Morales, and joining me, as always, is my favorite co-host, Revelation. How we doing, Revelation?
Well, I'm the only co-host, so, you know. It's an automatic favorite.
That's an automatic favorite right there.
But, I mean, you know, normal. Had to get up a little bit earlier today, so I'm a little bit tired. Enjoying the better weather. Hopefully, again, it stays this way.
Not that
Like
there's an inch of
last-
snow
like-
coming tonight.
Yeah, I was hoping you didn't say that. But it's better than like the 3 or 4 inches we normally would be getting.
Indeed. That is the facts that happens around here, ladies and gentlemen. Western New York. Love it. But it's always great to have Revelation with us. Again, welcome to Unbound, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we got a jam-packed episode, as always, covering the week's biggest news, politics, and cultural moments, from the Supreme Court striking down Trump's sweeping tariffs to the FCC calling the Patriotic Programming for the U.S. 250th anniversary, and for Eric Dane's final posthumous interview on ALS to the tragedy at the Rhode Island high school hockey game that happened on Monday. Yes, we're touching again on Eric Dane and the Rhode Island high school hockey game shooting because we got some updates on both articles. So buckled up, because we are going deep, asking the hard questions and giving you the context other shows leave out. So let's jump in. Also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we'll be touching the news about Anderson Cooper with a good friend, Revelation, tonight. All right. Again, on Friday, February 20th, 2026, the Supreme Court of the United States handed down a landmark decision that could reshape U.S. economic policy for years to come. In a 6-3 ruling, the court struck down major portions of President Donald Trump's tariff regime, ruling that the tariffs exceeded the legal authority granted under the long-standing federal trade statutes, and what followed was intense political pushback, a swift market reaction, and a legal and strategic pivot from the White House as officials and industry leaders assessed what comes next. The background of Trump's sweeping tariffs and legal challenges is that the tariffs in question were imposed beginning in 2023 through 2025 under the emergency trade powers granted by the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the IEEPA of 1977. The Trump administration had argued that global supply chain disruption, sharp trade imbalances, and alleged dependence on foreign imports constituted an economic emergency, justifying sweeping tariffs on broad categories of goods coming into the United States. Over the past 3 years, duties were placed on steel, aluminum, electronics, consumer goods, and more, affecting imports from dozens of trading partners and collecting more than $160 billion in tariff revenues. Many companies paying these duties passed those costs on to consumers and adjusted their supply chains accordingly. However, several trade groups, importers, and states filed legal challenges, arguing that EPA did not authorize this broad of an economic action, especially one targeting everyday imports and not just transactions linked to national security or global crises. Lower courts ultimately split on the question, and the Supreme Court agreed to take the matter. The ruling today, February 20th, in detailed opinion, the Supreme Court majority ruled that the IEEPA never gave the president unilateral authority to impose economic-wide tariffs simply by declaring emergency authority. While the statute allows for freezing assets and blocking transactions during narrowly defined crises, the justices wrote it does not empower the president to levy tariffs covering nearly all imports entering the U.S. economy without clear authorization from Congress. The decision effectively invalidated the largest and most expensive part of Trump's tariff program. While the court did not block every possible trade restriction, it is left intact more targeted measures tied to national security or specific sectors. It dramatically narrowed executive authority. Market and economic reactions. Financial markets reacted swiftly on February 20th, 2026. U.S. stock indexes, including the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, and NASDAQ Composite Climate, investors welcome the legal clarity and diminished risk of abrupt, wide-ranging trade barriers. Industrial and technology companies that had weighed down by tariff uncertainty saw some of the largest gains, while bonds markets showed mixed signals related to the potential fiscal implications of tariff refunds and future trade policy changes. Major Businesses Coalition praised the ruling as a win for long-term economic stability. Retailers, manufacturers, and logistic firms said that the removal of broad tariffs will help lower input costs and reduce disruption in global supply chains. Meanwhile, manufacturers and labor groups that had supported the tariffs reacted with frustration, arguing the decision leaves U.S. industries vulnerable to unfair competition. Some union leaders called on Congress to fill the regulatory gap with legislation that would provide clear authority to protective tariffs while maintaining oversight and fairness. President Trump swiftly condemned the ruling as a political defeat for American workers and industries. In February 20th, again, White House statement, he called the decision a setback for U.S. foreign sovereignty and economic security, but said his administration would pursue alternative legal authorities to impose import duties. Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974, the statute allows a president to impose temporary tariffs up to 150 days if the country faces a balance of payment crisis, trade disruption, or economic emergency. On the same day as the ruling, Trump signed an executive order instituting a temporary 10% global tariff under Section 122. Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, already used in the past for national security tariffs such as steel and aluminum. Section 232 could be expanded to impose duties on other categories if deemed critical to national security. Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974. This gives the president authority to penalize foreign countries for unfair trade practices, especially involving intellectual property theft or discriminatory regulations. These statutes offer the Trump administration pathways to maintain pressure on foreign exporters, but they are more limited and temporary than the broad authority once asserted under the IEEPA. A trade experts say Section 122 in particular may last only a few months, requiring administration justification and potential action from Congress to extend or replace it. In the wake of Supreme Court decisions, importers and businesses that were forced to pay now invalid tariffs are preparing legal action to recover their costs. Trade associations estimate that companies could claim billions of dollars in refunds, leading to a wave of litigation in federal courts over how refunds should be calculated and awarded. The ruling also set a precedent that may constrain future presidents' use of emergency powers in economic policy, signaling clear limits when policymaking touches broad segments of the economic without explicit legislative backing. The tariff ruling has already spurred calls within Congress for clearer trade authority. Some lawmakers argue that Congress should draft new legislation granting the executive branch specific tariff powers for certain economic conditions, while others see the decision as a reason to tighten oversight and reinforce legislative control over trade. Internationally, the ruling has been welcomed by several trading partners, including Brazil and members of the European Union, as a move towards more predictable and collaborative trade relations with the United States. Some analysts predict incentives for renewed negotiations on bilateral and multilateral trade agreements, especially with the countries that face higher duties under the previous tariff regime. So there's that. It looks like docket team did not give us some ending discussing questions about this. Leave us in the comment section or in the chat. What do you guys think about these tariffs that have been imposed now after the Supreme Court has shut it down, and now President Trump still is gonna impose a 10% tariff on the goods, no matter what, going above the Supreme Court. So let us know in the comment section. And Revelation, what do you think? And shout out to Eddie Weber.
Oh, we want to talk about changing the economic policies for what the president can enact. How about, oh, I don't know, starting with getting rid of fucking NAFTA? Because, oh, I don't know, maybe, just maybe, we wouldn't be in such a problem with businesses going to other countries and having to put on tariffs and all sorts of things like that to try and bring businesses back to the country, which is originally what the hell the tariffs were for. If the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, wasn't enacted, which really, really harmed the country.
Yeah.
So how about we get rid of that? But hey, what do I know? I'm just some person who lives in some dumb town of barely 40,000 people in Western New York who only graduated high school. Hey, you know.
What can you do? Again, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the chat. And as we continue with this, I think we're still in a partial government shutdown. I don't think that we have opened up yet. So if you're expecting some taxes, it's going to be late. The FCC calls for a patriotic program for the 250th U.S. Anniversary. As the United States approaches its 250th anniversary, the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, is urging broadcasters to play a more active role in shaping the national celebration. On February 20th, 2026, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr announced a voluntary initiative encouraging television and radio networks to air more patriotic and civic-focused programming in the lead up to July 4th, 2026. The official semiquincentennial of American independence. Carr, who was appointed by Donald Trump, said the effort is meant to promote national unity and improve public understanding of the U.S. history during a landmark year. The FCC campaign, known as the Pledge America Initiative, asked broadcasters to consider adding content that highlights American history, founding principles, and civic responsibility. While participation is voluntary, the commission outlined several examples of what stations could include in their schedules. These ranges from public service announcements about historic events and national parks to short educational segments about the Constitution and major moments in the U.S. history. Some suggestions also included airing patriotic music, opening broadcast days with the national anthem, and featuring local historical sites and community traditions. Carr framed the request as an opportunity rather than a mandate, emphasizing that the unique reach of broadcast media. He argued that that with civic education declining in many areas, broadcasters are well positioned to remind Americans of the country's origin and shared values. According to the FCC, the campaign is meant to complement the broader federal America 250th effort. which coordinates events and programs nationwide in recognition of the anniversary. However, the announcement has sparked debate in the media and political circles. Supporters say that the initiative is a harmless way to encourage national pride and historical awareness during a major milestone. Critics counter that any push from a federal regulator, even if it's voluntary, raises concerns about government influence over programming content. They argued that broadcasters should decide independently how to cover the anniversary without perceived pressure from regulators. The FCC maintains that the program carries no enforcement power and no penalties for stations that decline to participate. Still, the request comes at a time when media regulation and political messaging are already under intense scrutiny, making the initiative politically sensitive as well as symbolic. With more than a year until the official anniversary, actually, it's not even more than a year, right? Because it's in July 4th. It's half a year away. Broadcasters now face a choice whether to embrace the FCC's call and shape their schedules around patriotic themes, or to observe the milestone through their own editorial approaches. Either way, the move ensures that the 250th anniversary will be closely tied not just to parades and fireworks, but also to how Americans see and hear their history through the media. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as always, now we have discussing questions. Thank you to the docket team. Should the broadcasters take part in the FCC's call for patriotic program? Does this initiative promote unity and raise concerns about media independence? And how should the 250th anniversary be presented to the public? So that's what we got. Let us know in the chat. Revelation, what we got?
Remember when you could watch all of that stuff on, PBS? You just flick to PBS and be like, oh, hey, I'm, watching George Washington cross the Delaware, and, oh, I'm learning about Lincoln and all sorts of that kind of stuff. Like,
PBS.
Like, and now or you like, and then when you were like a little bit older, it was like, oh, on like old school fucking History Channel, you could like, it was like the same thing. Like,
Did you say
but more
PBS
like,
Kids now?
no, like old school like History Channel before it went to Pawn Stars and all sorts of stuff like that. Like, actually when it taught like actual history.
En aquellos días,
But like no, now it's like, oh, do we want to show stuff about America? It's like, bro, it's literally coming up on what is it, the 250th anniversary?
Yeah, 250th.
And two, they said it's optional. So you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But if you do actually do it, don't fucking butcher it. Like, don't go all Netflix on it. Don't make George Washington a fucking midget black girl that has one arm and like 17 teeth and, like lived in a hole in the ground. No, not being racist there. I'm trying to give an example of what, Netflix actually does.
Right.
Like, you gotta be true to, like, this is kind of an important time in America. And again, optional. You don't gotta show it. Like, that's why I like PBS, because, it was government funded, and they taught you actual things. I loved PBS. Brought to you in part by your local PBS station.
Yeah, right there at the end. That landed perfect. This is the original sound to the PBS. PBS.
Dude, that reminds me. Remember reading Rainbow?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, man, that was on PBS too. Oh, God. The best one was LeVar Burton. Oh,
Was that it?
I don't know. I'd have to actually hear the song. But anyways, we're getting...
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa! Whoa, we are so sorry about that. That docket team. We gotta
Docket team, you're
fix
getting
that button,
yeah,
dude. You're fired. You're fired, dude.
You're fired.
We're gonna get
You're
an email
canceled.
now. You're canceled. You just canceled this show, dude. You just
We understand you were invited to the cookout, but don't get a little bit, don't get too excited.
I'm embarrassed. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That. Oh God. If I had the that's what I need right now. So
Yeah, Docket team's gonna get an RKO for that.
we need a lot of we need this. You know. Oh God.
Oh, you suck.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's
Well,
get back on
okay,
track.
relax, guys, relax. Jesus. Okay. Oh my God, and this is not gonna be good. Ladies and gentlemen, the appeals court allows Trump administration to pause slavery exhibit reinstallation in Philadelphia. A federal appeals court has temporarily paused work to restore a controversial slavery exhibit in Philadelphia's Independence National Historical Park, granting this Trump administration request while it continues to appeal a lower court's order to reinstall the display. The dispute centers on a series of educational panels that had been part of an outdoor exhibit at the presidential house site on Independence Mall, detailing the lives of 9 people enslaved by President George Washington during the 1790s when Philadelphia briefly served as the nation's capital. The panels highlight personal stories and historical context in a space that commemorates the early years of the United States. The exhibit had been on display for more than a decade, drawing visitors and historians interested in the paradox of liberty and slavery in the founding era. However, in January 2026, the Donald Trump administration removed the majority of the panels following an executive order aimed at rewriting how certain historical narratives are presented on federal lands. The executive order instructed agencies like the National Park Service to eliminate content deemed to inappropriately disparage the nation's history. A move opponents branded an effort to erase uncountable truths from public memory. In response, the city of Philadelphia filed a lawsuit in federal court arguing that the Trump administration violated existing federal agreements governing the historic site by removing the panel without proper consultation. On February 16, 2026, senior U.S. District Judge Cynthia M. Ruffey ruled that the exhibits must be reinstated and barred officials from replacing them with alternative narratives without working with the city. Judge Ruffey's opinion strongly criticized the removal, warning that omitting the history of slavery in this context distorts the full story of American founding. Workers began reinstalling the panels in mid-February, and by Thursday, about half of the 34 panels were back in place, highlighting figures such as Austin, Paris, Hercules, Oni, Judge, and others who endured enslavement at the president's house. Supporters, including educators, local leaders, and civil rights advocates, have celebrated the move as essential to preserving a complete and honest historical record, especially as Philadelphia prepares for the nation's 250th anniversary later this year. However, late on Friday, February 20th, U.S. Appeals Court granted the Trump administration request to pause the lower court's restoration order while the government pursues its appeal. Third Circuit Judge Thomas Herdeman issued this stay just hours before a deadline set by Judge Rufe, holding that exhibit panels may remain in their partially restored state and must be preserved as they stand until the appeal is resolved. The ruling also prohibits any further alterations or replacement exhibits at the site during litigation. The appeals process is being expedited. The court has set an accelerated briefing and hearing scheduled, but has not yet specified a date for oral arguments or a final decision. Both sides are expected to present legal arguments over whether Judge Rufus' original restoration order was proper and whether the Interior Department had the authority to remove the panels under the federal law. The legal battle underscores a larger national debate about how American history, including painful chapters like slavery, should be presented in public spaces. Advocates for the exhibit argue that they acknowledging the experience of enslaved people is vital to understanding the nation's founding and its enduring legacy. Critics of the removal contend that history should not be manipulated to fit political preferences or narratives. Here we go with the end in discussing questions, ladies and gentlemen. Should federal agencies be allowed to remove historical exhibits without local consent, even if they believe the content is controversial? What responsibilities do national parks and museums have in presenting difficult aspects of American history? How should public historical narratives balance national pride with honest acknowledgement of past injustices? From the store off the hat. Listen here, Eddie Weber. All right? I keep the stickers on everything I buy, except the tag. Let us know in the chat what you guys think, or in the comment section if you watch this later on. Revelation, what do you got for me?
Okay, so from what I'm reading here, apparently it was just like Trump gave a overall order to basically like kind of take down things that are, I guess, in a way defaming the founding fathers and things. And it was ordered for the National Park Service for that. He gave it to them. So they were the ones in charge of taking it down. And they ended up violating a 2006 agreement that they had given with the city of Philadelphia to, and I quote, commemorate the enslaved Africans who resided in the Washington household. The Representative Dwight Evans goes on to say their shameful desecration of this exhibit raises broader disturbing questions about the administration's continued abuse of power and a commitment to whitewashing history, which that is totally skipping over what is going on because it was the Park Service, not Trump at all. Kenyatta Johnson, the president of the Philadelphia City Council, said African American history is American history. And again, they're saying whitewashing. That I don't know why everyone automatically says that. They also, the Park Service employees also went on to the Lowell National Historical Park in Massachusetts and were ordered to stop showing films about the terrible conditions endured by women and immigrants working in textile mills in the early 19th century by their superiors. And the National Park Service has already purged its gift shops of supposedly DEI-related merchandise and removed the 2 official federal holidays that honor Black history, Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth, from its list of free entrance days, which was not on the orders of Trump. That was from the head of the National Park Service. It is saying here.
Okay. Okay. Anything else
That
on it?
is everything no, that was the end of the article, but that is what I'm getting from this.
Okay. Well, thank you for Revelation for the rebuttal.
Or wait, hold on. Okay, so wait, hold on. No, they didn't. Okay, so they're still keeping them, but it's not a free entrance. You have to pay for it. Okay. Maybe they should fucking not have that in the same damn thing, and sometimes I hate the way people write things. Yeah, that's how that is.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving on. We're gonna be touching now. Give me a minute. We're gonna be touching now based on what is wrong now? What did I do? There we go. We're gonna touch now on. It's not even here, is it? I didn't think so. One moment. I had this already. Now it's not ready. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're gonna touch again the life of Eric Dane. Netflix releases a posthumous interview with Eric Dane after his death from ALS. A deep, detailed look. Netflix has released again a powerful and deeply personal posthumous interview with actor Eric Dane, available now as part of the streaming service's Famous Last Words series, a program designed to feature conversations filmed while subjects are still alive, but only released after they have passed away. Dane's episode premiered on February 20th, 2026, one day after his death at age 53, following a battle with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, right? Sclerosis. Eric Dane's final interview and intent. The Netflix special was filmed in November 2025 with creator and host Brad Folshuk, guiding an intimate conversation about Dane's life, legacy, and the hard lessons he learned along the way. Dane knew the interview would air only after his death, giving him a rare opportunity to speak candidly about love, purpose, regret, resilience, and his deep devotion to his daughters. In the interview, Dane reflected on his relationship with his long-life wife, Rebecca Gayhart, whom he married in 2004, and noted that even after a separation in a 2018 divorce filing, they remained close and eventually withdrew the divorce by March 2025, shortly before his ALS diagnosis became public. He called Gayhart the only woman I ever fell in love with deeply, describing their bond with warmth and affection. His life and ALS diagnosis. Dane is best known for his iconic role, such as Dr. Mark McSteamy Sloan on Grey's Anatomy and the complex character Cal Jacobs on Euphoria. His diagnosis with ALS, a progressive neurodegenerative disease that attack nerve cells controlling voluntary muscles, was publicly revealed in April 2025. Symptoms started that year with weakness in his right hand, eventually spreading as the disease took hold. ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, progressively destroys motor neurons in the brain and spinal cord. As these neurons die, the brain loses the ability to initiate and control muscle movement, leading to muscle weakness, loss of speech, difficulty swallowing, and eventually respiratory failure. Most people diagnosed with ALS live 2 to 5 years after symptoms begin, although clinical sources can vary. There is currently no cure existing. Treatments focus on symptoms management and extending quality of life. Despite his declining health, Dane remained active in raising awareness about ALS and advocating for research and support. In December 2025, he participated in a virtual panel hosted by ALS advocacy groups where he described the brutal realities of living with the disease and emphasized the need for compassion and funding for research. Fellow actors and friends, including Grey Anatomy co-star Patrick Dempsey, praised his courage and commitment to the cause. Messages and life lessons. One of the most poignant parts of Dane's famous last words interview came near its conclusion when Folshuk stepped out of the room and allowed Dane to speak directly to the camera. With emotion in his voice and tears welling, he addressed his daughters, Billy 15 and Georgia 14, with a series of 4 life lessons he hoped they would carry forward. Life is in the present. Live in the present. ALS forced him to focus on the moment rather than regrets about past or fears of the future. Find passion and love. He told them to love and enthusiasm guide their choices, whether in relationships or pursuits that make life meaningful. Choose friends and community wisely. He underscored the value of trust, loyalty, and kindness in personal relationships. Fight with dignity. He encouraged resilience in the face of hardship, urging his daughters to fight with every ounce of her being. In the very end, he delivered a simple, heartfelt sign-off. Billy and Georgia, you are my heart. You are my everything. Good night. I love you. Wow, that's powerful. The legacy and impact of Eric Dane's final interview is both a personal testament and public legacy, one of that blends his experiences as an actor, father, husband, and advocate. He spoke honestly about life complexities, including past struggles with addiction, the grief of losing his father at age 7, and how ALS reshaped his perspective on identity and purpose. His remarks were marked by humor, humility, and sharp sense of self-reflection. In his last public moments in the interview itself, Dane highlighted that ALS may have weakened his body, but it never diminished his spirit. and that his career, relationships, and legacy are defined as much by love and resilience as by any character he's ever played. His death, confirmed by his family on February 19th, came surrounded by loved ones and has prompted an outpouring of tributes from colleagues and fans alike. Dane's openness about his illness and his decision to speak so candidly in his final interview have helped bring renewed attention to ALS, the disease that claimed his life and the challenges faced by countless others living in neurodegenerative conditions. Again, before I go into the ending discussions here, I said it on Monday, I believe, and I'll say it again. Rest in peace to Eric Dane, Mr. McSteamy. You'll be greatly missed to everyone who watched your television moments and your new ventures in movies and other shows. We're gonna take again a 10-second moment of silence today for Eric Dane, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, one moment. Hopefully you can see me again. If we're back. There's something that I would like to show you guys real quick before we continue along here. At least a brief clip of the interview. If you can give me just a second here. Here we go. This should work. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I got it up. Ladies and gentlemen, this oh, it's not working still. Alright, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my camera now. We're gonna play this quick video of Eric Dane's clip from the last words on Netflix. The video courtesy is from Netflix. It is up on my YouTube channel if you would like to watch it. It's about 5 minutes long. And it does have subtitles. So you can go ahead and watch that, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, we're going to give you a quick 1 minute run of the video. And let us know what you think, okay?
Billy in Georgia. These words are for you. I tried. I stumbled sometimes, but I tried. Overall, we had a blast, didn't we? I remember all the times we spent at the beach. The two of you, me, and Mom in Malibu, Santa Monica. Santa Monica, Hawaii, Mexico. I see you now playing in the ocean for hours, my water babies. Those days, pun intended, were heaven. I want to tell you 4 things I've learned from this disease, and I hope you won't just listen to me. I hope you'll hear me. First, live now. Right now, in the present. It's hard, but I learned to do that. For years, I would wander off mentally, lost in my head for long chunks of time, wallowing in worry and self-pity, shame, and doubt. I'd replay decisions, second-guess myself. I should have done this, I never should have done that. No more. Out of pure survival, I am forced to stay in the present. But I don't want to be anywhere else. The past contains regrets. The future remains unknown. So you have to live now. The present is all you have. Treasure it. Cherish every moment. Second, fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to play the whole video for you. I really would. But catch it. It's in my YouTube channel. You won't regret it. It's called Eric Dane's Final Message to His Daughters in Netflix Famous Last Words. All right. Eric Dane. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Dane. I couldn't believe it. I'm still in shock about it. I bet many of you are also. So, yeah. My ending discussing questions for the chat. How does Eric Dane's hottest confrontation with ALS in his final interview change the way people think about life, illness, and legacy? What impact can posthumous reflections like Dane's have on public awareness, advocacy, and funding for diseases like ALS? Does knowing an interview was meant to be released only after death change how audience interpret its messages, and why? Let us know in the comment section. But we are going to continue along. Let us know. Let us know in the comments in the chat. We'll try to touch this again on Monday. No issue on that. Ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to touch again also another actor that passed away in December 12th of 2025. Actor Peter Green, best known for playing the chilling villain Zed in Pulp Fiction, and mob boss Dorian Tyrell in The Mask, died on December 12, 2025 at the age of 60 from an accidental self-inflicted gunshot wound. The New York City office of the chief medical examiner has confirmed it. Green was found unresponsive in his Lower East Side Manhattan apartment during a wellness check requested after neighbors complained that loud music had been playing nonstop. After gaining entry with a locksmith, authorities discovered Green's body. 2 months later, the medical examiner determined the cause of death was a gunshot wound to the left armpit. They're calling it left axilla, that damaged the brachial artery, a major blood vessel supplying the blood to the arm, and ruled the death an accident. Over a career spanning more than 3 decades, Green built a reputation for playing intense, often villainous characters. In addition to Pulp Fiction, The Mask. In addition to Pulp Fiction and The Mask, his film and television work included roles in Clean Shaven, The Usual Suspects, Training Day, and many others. His longtime manager, Greg Edward, described Green as a truly great actor with a generous heart. At the time of his death, Green was reportedly working on projects including an independent film titled Mascots with Mickey Rourke. Wow. Fans and colleagues have remembered Green both for his distinctive screen presence and his versatility in portraying complex supporting characters, making him a recognizable face in 1990s and the 2000s cinema. I don't have any discussing questions about that. Let us know how do you feel about this news, if you didn't know about it already, and what kind of movies did you like him in. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to move to one of my last articles before moving it along to Revelation. We got an update about the Rhode Island hockey game shooter killed ex-wife and son before killing himself, police say. So these are the updates. Deadly shooting that erupted during a youth hockey game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island on Monday, February 16th, ended in tragedy when the gunman targeted family members before taking his own life. Authorities confirmed the violence unfolded at the Dennis M. Lynch Arena just after 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Sorry about that. Sending prayers, families, and fans scrambling for cover during what was meant to be a spirited high school hockey match. Sorry, and I meant to say sending players. Police identified the shooter as 56-year-old Robert K. Dorgan, who also names included Roberta Esposito and Roberta Dorgano, um, and who had attended the game to watch a family member play. Investigators say Dorgan opened fire in the stands, targeting his own family members. His ex-wife, 52-year-old Rhonda Dorgan, and their adult son, 23-year-old Aiden Dorgan, were both fatally shot. Dorgan then died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the scene. In addition to fatalities, 3 others were critically injured, remain hospitalized. The wounded included Rhonda Dorgan's parents, Linda and Gerald Dorgan, both age 75, and family friends Thomas Garuso, 54, an assistant principal at the local high school. Officials confirmed that none of the hockey players on the ice were injured. Police described the shooting as a targeted domestic attack rather than a random violence. Pawtucket Police Chief Tina Goncalves said investigators have not yet released a definitive motive, but noted that the shooter had attended previous family hockey games without incident, and there was no warning before the fire began. Bystanders played a critical role in limiting further violence. Several people at the scene intervened as the shooter continued to open fire, helping contain the attackers and assist the wounded until police arrived. Authorities credited the citizens with preventing additional harm as spectators and players fled in panic. The shooting has deeply shaken the Rhode Island community. Officials have concealed or relocated subsequent hockey games, while concealing resources are being provided to students, families, and witnesses traumatized by the violence. Local leaders, including Governor Dan McKee and Pawtucket Mayor Don Grebin, expressed sorrow and offered support to those affected, emphasizing that the incident had brought new urgency to conversations about gun safety, family conflict, and community healing. Friends and neighbors remembered Rhonda Dorgan as a devoted mother and community member, while those who knew Aiden Dorgan, a mechanical engineering student and inspiring engineer, described him as caring and hardworking. His loss, especially at a family-oriented event, has left many grappling with grief and disbelief. In the days following the tragedy, high school hockey games resumed in Rhode Island, though not at Lynch Arena itself, which remains closed pending continued investigation and repairs. Several teams have rallied around the affected families, offering support and solidarity as they work to move forward while honoring those lost. My ending discussing questions about this: how should communities balance the need for public safety at a family event with supporting individuals dealing with personal conflict? What long-term support systems should schools and sport programs have in place after a traumatic shooting like this? How can bystanders intervene and community awareness be encouraged to help prevent and mitigate similar incidents in the future? How should communities balance the need for public safety at families' events with supporting individuals dealing with some personal conflict? The problem is not everybody's talking to anybody.
Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna stop you right there.
You know? Go
Nah,
ahead.
fuck that.
All right, let's let
First of all-
Revelation take this one.
Nah, fuck that. First of all, maybe we should, again, increase the budget for mental health, because this whole thing could have been avoided if the fucking person with a mental illness didn't decide to kill his fucking family. Because I'm sorry, oh, you're gonna say who was the person with the mental disease? Oh, well, she shot up the ex-wife and son. No, motherfucker, it was a he. Shut the fuck up. That's a mental disease. When you transition, you're having a fucking disease. It's called mental illness. Oh, you got your feelings hurt. Congratulations. No, the body you were born in is yours. It's called chromosomes. It's called biology. When you transition, guess what? Your brain goes, ooh, guess what? I'm having weird thoughts. I'm fucking stupid. Harm body.
The bomb has been dropped, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Now, I'm sorry if some of you in chat know some people who, are like that, but guess what? I'm just spitting fucking facts. So, yeah, that's basically what happens. So invest in mental health, and maybe this wouldn't happen. Not continuously fucking blaming it on gun violence.
Ladies and gentlemen, bombs have been dropped, and the facts are in. And the facts are in. Mental health is a crisis. We'll be touching it at the end of the show, as we always do. And remember to contact the 988 hotline. Okay? Talk to somebody. They're always available 24/7. Don't be nervous. You're not the only one. There's many people out there suffering with mental health. Call and talk to somebody, and they'll point you into the right direction. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to send it to our good friend Revelation to give us the lowdown on the recent news on Anderson Cooper, our favorite news anchor of our 21st century.
Well, before I do that, I actually have some very important news. Just happened a little bit ago. For those of you that use Discord quite a bit, I'm sure you're all familiar with Discord. There's quite a bit of you in here watching, or listening, I should say. Sorry, I say watching a lot. I don't know if you know or not, but Discord is now requiring everyone to be use like scan your ID to prove that you are above the age of 18 to access any NSFW channels. Basically being like, oh, if you want to post like, memes showing like, like not like it's hard to describe, but any channels registered 18 plus in the server, you would have to, those would be off limits to you. But you could still access the regular channels.
That's the current news about Discord.
I'm building up to it. So that'll be rolled out in March, but you can register right now. So a lot of people have already done this. I want to say like 2,000 to 3,000 people have already done this. Well, they have this registration thing. Like it's their whole entire like third-party registration type deal called Persona. And apparently it has been hacked. And they found out that these people who found it out, the government, yes, the United States government has been using it to find out your government ID number, your IP address, your name, your phone number, your email address, your geolocation, your browser fingerprint, your device's fingerprint, your face, your country, your field, your string, and your selfie background. So all 2,000 to 3,000 of those people. Yeah. Congratulations. You have been played, everyone. I think I'm just gonna register as a teen on there. Not that the government probably already doesn't know practically everything about me and you and everyone else, but I'm not gonna do that just so that I can be in an 18 plus channel and post some haha funny memes that a little kid shouldn't be allowed to look at. So, like, I don't want them to know where my what the background color of my wall is and what my face looks like, and
To me, that sounds like the
so,
same thing they rolled out for TikTok.
well, considering the government now owns TikTok, except they didn't try to hide it like they did with TikTok using a third party. They were just like, "Hey, yeah, fuck it. We're gonna ban the Chinese and we're just gonna buy TikTok." Like, okay, now on to the Anderson Cooper thing on a lighter note.
Yeah.
So, Anderson Cooper leaving 60 Minutes after nearly 20 years. He is leaving as a correspondent for the CBS News program. Being a correspondent at 60 Minutes has been one of the greatest honors of my career. I got to tell amazing stories and work with some of the greatest producers, editors, and camera crews in the business. He said in a statement provided to USA Today on the 16th of February. For nearly 20 years, I've been able to balance my jobs at CNN and CBS, but I have little kids now, and I want to spend as much time with them as possible. Well, they still want to spend time with me, he said. The journalist will officially leave the program when his contract expires. For more than 2 decades, Anderson Cooper has taken 60-minute viewers on journeys to faraway places, told us unforgettable stories, reported consequential investigations, and interviewed many prominent figures. CBS News said in a statement to USA Today, "We're grateful to him for dedicating so much of his life to this broadcast and understand the importance of spending more time with family. 60 Minutes will be here if he ever wants to return." Cooper, who also worked for CNN since December of '01 and hosts Anderson Cooper 360, has collected a handful of Emmy wins and nominations for his work on the Sunday Night News magazine, which is in its 58th season. His most recent appearance was on the February 15th episode during 60 Minutes' Last Minute segment. CBS News has undergone several shakeups since Paramount Skydance CEO David Ellison named the Free Press founder and opinion Barry Weiss editor-in-chief in October. Her hiring stirred controversy over her lack of experience in broadcast news. The network's decision to pull a 60-minute segment featuring a mega prison in El Salvador housing migrants who were deported from the United States hours before its airing in December drew backlash and accusations that move was politically motivated. The next month, Inside CECOT, I'm pretty sure that's an actual thing. I just don't know how to say it. Which CBS had initially said needed additional reporting, aired with the inclusion of more details, including comments from the Department of Homeland Security. And apparently that is the end of the article. Way to leave it on a cliffhanger.
They cliffhang it for sure.
Anyways,
I'm gonna.
so yeah.
Yeah, good job. That was some good stuff. I'm gonna take a quick moment here to tell you all about all of our sponsors that we have on this beautiful show called the Unbound.
The sponsors.
The
Dun, dun.
sponsors. If I can get it up and running, that'll be fantastic, wouldn't it? Oh, God. Ladies and gentlemen, the sponsors of this show, as always, is the Kayville Hotel and Tavern, located down in Klein, Feltersville, Pennsylvania. Their address is 2647 Heidelberg Avenue in Kleinfeldsville, Pennsylvania. They're open from Wednesday to Sunday, 4 to 9 Wednesday and Thursday, 4 to 10 Friday, 12 to 10 Saturday, and 12 to 8 Sundays. Make sure to contact them at 717-949-8413. Make sure to try their sliders. Make sure to try their peanut butter and jelly burger. I heard that they're having they had this special over the weekend. A good Valentine's special. I can't remember what it was now. Sorry, Seth and Jamie. I love you. Sending all my love to you. Head down to the Caveville Hotel and Tavern. Make sure to give them a call to make sure that if you have any questions about lodging, this is not like you can really stay there. It's not really a hotel. It used to be a hotel and tavern. Now it's just a tavern, ladies and gentlemen. No sleeping in the parking lot. If you have any questions though about maybe sleeping there, make sure to contact Seth and Jamie, and maybe they'll if you pay them or something, who knows. But contact them, all right? Like I said, 717-949-8413. Our next sponsor, Atlas Epoxy Floors. 203-496-6386 or brad.kelly at atlasepoxyfloors.com for their email. They work on anything epoxy, ladies and gentlemen. Anything epoxy. They do garages, basements, patios, lobbies, countertops, you name it. Whenever you need epoxy, they'll do it for you. You can contact them at 203-496-6386. The owner is Bradford Kelly. He's CEO and owner of the business. You can contact him also by email, brad.kelly at atlasepoxyfloors.com, or you can visit their website at atlasepoxyfloors.com, and they're located down in Milford, Connecticut. But that does not mean, ladies and gentlemen, that Brad cannot go down to Florida. He can go down to Florida. He can go down to Maine, New Hampshire, New York, Chicago, Michigan, Indiana, Oklahoma, you name it, Wyoming, Utah. Just give him a call. He will go there. Nevada. He'll go there. I promise you that. If the price is right, ladies and gentlemen, give him a call. 203-496-6386. Bradford Kelly. The man, the myth, the legend. Also, Velocity, one of the main sponsors for sure of this show. Velocity Modern Classics, Velocity Restorations, located down in 15 East Quintet Road in Encantement, Florida, 32533. You can contact them in the number at 850-466-1810. They're open from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. from 6 p.m. They restore any vehicles that you've been trying to work on for the last 15, 20 years, and it's collecting dust in that barn or attic or whatever. Attic. It's not like you can bring it up to the attic. But listen, I know you got a beautiful Atlas sitting in your garage that you've been trying to rebuild. Send it down to, Velocity Restorations, where they'll restore it, make it feel lovely.
I'm gonna pause you there. You have a beautiful what now?
What?
A beautiful.
Did I say beautiful?
You said a beautiful Atlas.
Atlas, yeah.
What is a beautiful Atlas?
Atlas isn't it Atlas a vehicle?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen,
There's a Cutlass.
Cutlass. Oh my God, I messed up the name. Cutlass. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday. It's been a week. My bad. Eddie Weber's in the house already, itching his head, saying, "What the heck is this man talking about?" Cutlass, sitting in your garage, that needs to be, restored to this good old glory, or maybe make it look different and better. Contact again at Velocity Modern Classics. Ladies and gentlemen, moving along from that, you can also see me on the Producer Mike podcast on the Producer Mike Presents channel. It's called The Movement in there, so make sure that you tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time over here in the East Coast. We talk about a bunch of stuff. We have live cameras. We have a bunch of banter. We have a good time. Make sure to check us out on the Movement on the Producer Mike channel, on the Producer Mike Presents channel. And then I think that's it, right? Yeah, I think that's it. think that's all.
Yeah.
I think that's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Not the Atlas, but the, oh my God, I can't believe it. Cutlass, ladies and gentlemen. That's a wrap for tonight's episode of Unbound. We covered everything from the Supreme Court striking down sweeping tariffs and what that means for the economy and U.S. trade policy, to the FCC call for patriotic programming ahead of the 250th anniversary, and the ongoing legal battle over the Philadelphia slavery exhibit. We also reflected on the powerful posthumous Eric Dane's interview and the impact of ALS, as well as the tragic Rhode Island hockey arena shooting where a family dispute turned deadly and left the community reeling. And also we covered on the Anderson Cooper leaving 60 Minutes. But before we go, I want to take a moment to highlight two important issues: mental health and domestic violence. These affect millions every day, but help is always available. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges, you can contact the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline in the U.S. by dialing 988. Trained counselors are always available 24/7. For those affected by domestic violence, you can reach the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 for confidential support, safety planning, and connections to local resources. Remember, reaching out is a sign of strength, not weakness. You are not alone. And with that, thanks for tuning in into Unbound. Stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you on Monday. And before we see you on Monday, we're going to leave it to our good friend, Revelation, to give us the lowdown before the weekend and send us over to the music.
Okay, everyone. Today, your word of the day is apples. Sometimes apples come in red. Sometimes they come in green. Sometimes they're a little sweet. Sometimes they're a little sour. Sometimes they got that nice crunch. You know, sometimes you leave them out and they're warm when you do it. The best is when they're, you know, they're a little cold. But, you know, they really piss off doctors. You know, like they really fucking hate them. Just kidding. I have no idea. I don't get paid the big bucks to, you know, see what I hate and what I don't. Nor do I care. I just really love apples, and you probably should too. Also, if you squeeze them, they make apple juice, and apple juice is really good. And so yeah, eat apples, everyone. That's all. And anyways, on that note, thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed everything that we have, you know, given to you in this podcast. And on that note, we're gonna play you out.
We'll catch you Monday, 10:30, 5 or 10:45 p.m. Eastern Time.
Unbound. Revelation in the house. We did it again. We hit the mic, let the whole thing run. Took those questions one by one, from the wild ideas to the facts we found. We laid it all out on Unbound. Jey set the tone, let the convo breathe. Revelation jump in with the wait and see. From the first what if to the last breakdown, we took that road, we went around. We talked it out, we broke it down. Turn that noise
dream will rise to the top, oh yeah.